Hi. Today I'm going to discuss the drafting of shareholders agreement. This is a very important document for a company. When two or more parties join hand together to conduct a business or to do some activities, this is required. When a company is formed, there are different shareholders, different group of shareholders. So generally, this document defines their duties, their responsibility, their rights, and any dispute which may arise in future. Normally, it is seen that when the party join hand, they are at a very good spirit, and there are a lot of opportunities. At that time, nobody can think that it may go in an adverse way. So, it is very important to draft this document very diligently, so to as to define their roles and responsibilities, their rights, any future disputes, future business expansion, how the company would work, everything. Normally, the main clauses I'm going to discuss. While starting the document, the parties have to write all the parties should be written very carefully. If they are corporate, their name and name of the company, address, SIN number, and through which director it's going to execute, and any authority letter or resolution given in favor of that director to be mentioned in the party detail. In case the party is an individual, the name of the party, father's name, the address of that individual, and also the PAN number is to be mentioned in the party detail. Now coming to the clauses, I'm starting with the capital clause. Capital clause is the clause under which it is mentioned that which party is going to contribute how much in terms of equity or in terms of any other things, in terms of goodwill or any technical know-how, their percentage in the company, how they will, and in case any future raise of capital is done, in what ratio it would be done. It mentions the exact amount, the number of shares, the equity, whether it would be preference or it is going to a convertible preference shares or debentures. Everything should be mentioned in that capital clause. Now, the next clause is business of the company, what the JV is going to do. That should be mentioned very clearly. What is the activity of the JV? Is there any target? Is there any business plan for that? The business plan should be annexed with the shareholders agreement. Or what is going to achieve? Is there any making of a hotel or any project? Then how is it stage wise, when it is going to complete, and how the break even would be received. So all these should be mentioned in the business clause. Then the management, which is very important. Management, in the management in comes the board of directors. Now composition of board is very important. Which party will allocate how many directors? What would be the total number of directors on the board, and how many directors will represent which parties? Suppose there are 50%, then obviously the number of directors would be the same, 3 each from each side. This is how up to the parties to determine the number of directors. Now the chairperson, who would be the chairperson of the board meeting and the shareholders meeting. Chairperson normally has a extra or casting vote. In case of there is deadlock, suppose there are 6 directors and 3 have voted against in one resolution. Now the roles of the chairperson comes. If he has given an extra or casting vote, he can cast his vote, which will determine the final fate of the resolution. Now coming to the quorum. Quorum is normally governed by the Companies Act, but the shareholders agreement may specify that in case of quorum, one director from each party would be necessary. If suppose 3 directors come from one party and there is no director from the other party, it will not constitute a valid quorum. So it can be mentioned over there. Now, then how the voting would be done on a resolution, how the business of the board would be conducted, how many meetings would be done in a year for the board. Though not, under the Companies Act, it's 4 board meetings per year, but the SHA may specify for more, like 1 board meeting in a month. These are all to be decided here. Now coming to the other things, financial information. Suppose one party is conducting the business, other party is an investor. So it is the investor party may ask for a monthly MIS, how what the expenses are being done. There's quarterly audited balance sheets can also be produced. These are the things. Then coming to the bank account, how the bank account would be operated, whether it would be joint signatory or some limit would be given to one for operational purpose, some ease of limits, 20,000 or 50,000 authority to be given to one party, or if it is a limit, some more than some X amount, then both the party can sign jointly. Now the non-competition and confidentiality clause. It's very important for the shareholders agreement and also for the business of the company that while the business of that company is going on, the other party doesn't open a parallel business. So it should be written there that the parties should not be doing any other similar business. Now coming to the exit point, their transfer of shares. The exit point should be easy, but not that easy. It can be up to the party. They can close the business. In case of transfer of shares, they can go by their tag along and drag along clauses should be there. In the tag along clause, in case one party is going to sell his shares, then the other party should have the right to tag along with that share at the same rate. And similarly, in the drag along clause should be there. In the drag along clause, it is that in case one party wants to sell the shares and one small party doesn't want to sell his shares, then the selling party shall have the right to drag those shareholders along with them so that their shares can also be sold. Now, the dispute resolution clause is very important, where reference of arbitration should be given, because until this reference is given, the parties cannot go for arbitration. Coming to the deed of adherence is a deed in case there is any third party coming in the party, they will sign a deed of adherence by which they will confirm that they will follow and they confirm the shareholders agreement. The most important point is the reserve items. Reserve items are certain points, certain business transactions which the company will pass only when both the parties agree. Some of the reserve items are change of business of the company, closure of the business of the company, change of managing director, change of auditors, certain transaction beyond X amount, increase in authorized share capital, change in directors. These are some of the reserve items which can be fixed and finalized by the parties, where consent of both the parties would be mandatory. So friends, these were the important clauses which are to be kept in mind while drafting the shareholders agreement. Thank you very much.